another podcast of Mothers, War, and Violence. I'm your host, Yolanda Wallace. And today, our topic today is about self-care. And I'd like to introduce to you one of our only visitors, our only persons on the show today. And her name is Miss Jackie Buchanan.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome.
Thank you. Jackie Greer-Buchanan, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
And the reason that we invited Miss Buchanan to the show today, we know that Mothers, War, and Violence likes to tear down the strongholds that are in our families. And our topic today is self-care. A lot of times we tend to neglect ourselves to take care of others. I think on one of our other podcasts we had talked about being a caregiver and how sometimes those caregivers, they do really good care of taking care of others, but they don't always take care of themselves. So I, without further talking for me, I am going to turn the mic over to Miss Buchanan, and she's going to tell you a little about what she does, and she helps so many people with self-care.
Yeah, I've been blessed. I got an opportunity to, and this is unbelievable. I was selected from a group, Girl Track, who we walk with 1 million women. We got 1 million women all over the world that we are walking for our health, and we walk in our healthiest direction. That's what we always say. But I was pretty lucky to get invited to a stress protest back in 2019. Mm-hmm. And it was ironic because it was very ironic because, they decided who's going to be, coming to this stress protest. And out of all the women, I'm not sure how many, but it's a big deal. But I was selected, and I wasn't sure. But the cool thing about it is that I almost missed that opportunity because they said, okay, coming to this stress protest for self-care, we want you to pack everything that you have in this little backpack. And I'm like, are they kidding? They gotta be kidding. So I said, I can't put my things in. They said, put it in this backpack, and whatever cannot fit in this, they had the dimensions of the backpack, whatever cannot fit in this backpack, that, leave it home, period. So caught up in my own thoughts and feelings, I almost said no. I'm not gonna go, but I ended up going, and it was the best self-care ever. I have not looked back. I mean, it was just so, just one of the most crucial, best moments of my life.
What were the highlights that you liked the most?
I just liked the idea of the experts who were there, who poured into us. We really thought that we were taking care of ourselves, but we found out that it was just a little icing on the cake. It was little of nothing. We got a chance to do some hiking. We did horseback riding. We played tennis. We had sound bath, healing. There was so much. Now that's the sheet that I should have brought so I could just list the things that we did do. But
that's okay.
I found out that I needed to invest in me. I needed to invest in my own health and my own well-being, my own mental health, my own spiritual health. I needed to do that. And that's what I took away. But there were so many women that were there. They were like, oh, gosh, I'm in this terrible toxic relationship. I need to release that. So we learned how to let go of those things that were not healthful for, our well-being. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. And the most important reason why we should look at self-care, because that's one of the strongholds that's in our families that we don't tend to look at all the time. So I can't be the best mom unless I'm taking care of self-care.
Right.
Taking care of myself.
Right.
I can't be the best employee. I can't be the best producer unless I'm taking care of myself. So with that being said, I see that there's a few things that you have been involved in that has got my attention. I see on Facebook, and I know it's bigger. It's part of a bigger organization, the Jump Rope over 60.
Well, they're over 40. They're
Okay.
40 and over. It's
Right.
a 40 plus. It's
Okay.
a 40 plus.
It's a 40 plus.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, we do have that, and that is we jump at the YMCA, and that's definitely deals with our mental health and our physical
Okay.
health. So we do that to kind of get away from some adulting.
Okay.
To get away from adulting and to be able to have
Adulting, you want to explain
adulting, just get away from your daily routine.
Okay.
Just what you normally do, your schedules and all of the things that, your expectations that you're required to be the moms and the wives and all that. It gives you a chance to kind of get away from that and just to get away and be able to have some friendship. It's just fun, fitness, and fellowship with other women. You don't have to, it goes beyond jumping. It's not like you have to know how
Right.
to jump, but you might need to get away just for some fellowship, or just to get away from your daily routine, your daily schedule.
Just
that-
like tennis
that
or
holds you.
anything
Yeah.
else.
Just all of those activities give you a way out, even sitting back and just reading, just getting a good book to read. I always challenge myself, what are you reading? What do you read? And I just we're just finishing up The Power of Focus. So
Okay.
Lord knows we all need some focus in our lives.
Yes.
And I'm having a good time journaling that, not only for myself.
Yes,
that's
journaling.
self-care, journaling, but I also put it on Facebook so that my friends can also glean from that information, just what we're highlighting and what some of the my mentors and my coaches are going over. And so to be able to take that and apply it in your lives, that's the real self-care.
That is awesome. Now,
Yeah.
I have seen that, but there is still, here in Peoria, there's the jump rope over 40, but there are some that are over 60, I see.
Well, they're
In
60,
different places.
They're 70, they're 80, yeah.
Jump roping?
Yeah, they're
Where?
80. They're 80. 88.
What state?
Joyce is a jump roper, but like I said, that's a whole other show. And
I know.
They got founders and
matter
of fact,
what states?
all over.
Okay.
All over. They're just everywhere. We're all over the world, from here to we're probably jumping in Jamaica now. But,
Okay.
Atlanta, wherever.
Wow.
Israel.
Oh, wow,
Various places,
everywhere.
different countries, yeah.
Okay.
So
I seen that it was
but
a
I
very...
could, like I said, I would have to. I would love to bring in people to give you more information
on that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's fine.
But that is part of my self-care. That is part of what I enjoy
Well,
doing.
that's why I invite you to the show, because this is part of your
and
self-care.
a big part of that too is we have a network of people to be around a sisterhood. See, and it's funny because Kim Martin treated me to a birthday
with I Decide.
Yeah. That's a whole different community that I love. But she invited me out and for lunch for my birthday, and she gave me this card that says "Sisterhood is my superpower."
Wow.
And it is.
It is.
I started thinking about that. I'm like, wow, you're in a lot of sisterhood. Because I value sisterhood. I've had some very good women, especially my mom and my grandmother, who have poured into my life. And that's really important for other women to see women thriving and getting along and having a good time and playing together. That's so important.
And that's what I've also
generation.
liked about I Decide as well.
Yes,
is
that's
that
a
they
whole other group I
have
love,
a
yes.
whole lot of mentorship and stuff like that. So mentorship. So you've already highlighted a few things that are really good in self-care, and I'm going to start with the last: mentorship. Journaling, some activities, and
I'm kind of getting ahead of your list, right?
No, we're right on target.
Yeah,
we're right
okay,
on
that's
target
good,
because
that's
mentorship is really good. And then earlier today, before we even came in, we started talking about women as far as in different races and how the African American woman is kind of on the bottom when it comes to certain accelerated
The
things
information,
and
yeah.
information to help us to accelerate. You want to elaborate on that a little bit more
Yeah.
about the?
Well, you know, the big part of me, I know I'm an educator. I've retired from teaching, about 36 years of teaching. So the whole mentorship, encouragement, that's in my blood. That's,
Right.
That's who I am. And also was able to coach tennis. So was able to coach and mentor young women. So it's almost like just a part of my DNA.
And you've seen the successes as
yes,
well.
Yes, because even the young lady who owns that Thrifty Tomboy, she was one of my students. You know, I have a lot of students who are business owners.
Right.
And
that's good to see.
Yes, that's very good to see, considering when I was teaching, I knew that entrepreneurship was very important, and we would have like a time when we highlight what do my students want to do? What happens beyond high school? What happens? How would you design your ideal life? And they would come up. They would, you're an entrepreneur now. Come on, you're a merchant. What were you doing? So we would have a week of looking at that, a unit where we could just dive into being creative, and they love that. So that's when I run into these women now, entrepreneurs who have their own businesses. Alicia Collins was one of my students, and I know, Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then, what did you teach while you were teaching in school?
Oh, wow. I started out in gifted education, and I continue to go back and to be certified in K through 12, high school, college. I taught education classes here at Bradley University.
Was it English?
Yeah, I taught English.
Figured. I knew it.
I taught every subject, and then I landed in high school where I became, after I had those certifications, I said, we got to put these into use, and I became a resource teacher. Now, I don't know if you know, the resource teachers, you have to teach a little bit of everything.
You take a lot of life skills.
Life skills from, if they're doing algebra, you're going to do that. If they're doing trig, you're going to help with that. Whatever, if it's writing a research paper. So I love that, because that gave me a way
variety
to
of different things to help
the variety.
out.
So
okay.
I did that, and
did you find yourself when you were teaching where you felt like, maybe I needed some self-care?
Yeah, well, yeah. I think as educators, we have a tendency to keep showing up, and I hate to say this, but I was pretty prideful on attendance and showing up and being there every day. I mean, there were times I would win attendance awards because. So I'm pretty sure during that time I would neglect some things, like maybe I did have the sniffles or something, and I needed to keep my butt at home, and I decided to go.
Right.
But that was the commitment level that I had. That was so. Yeah.
And the other thing that you do is traveling.
Yes.
You travel quite a bit.
Yes.
And tell me why traveling is so important in self-care.
I'm this South Side Chicago little girl who my mother allowed me to take a trip to Spain and Africa.
Wow. Why, as a kid?
As a high school student, and that changed my world, because that way it allowed me to go beyond my boundaries, beyond my neighborhood, and see the world. And that too was part of what personal development and self-care. Right. So I did not know that that was going on, and at that time I was hooked on travel. So I've always liked to travel, and because of the fact that my husband and I did some networking and together, and so we got a chance to take the kids to travel all over the world and with our kids, and so travel. So to turn back around here, I was sought after by one of the leaders in Indianapolis, and who shared this with me. She says, I know you like to travel, but did you ever think about owning your own travel business? And I said, no, I didn't. So before she can get through, when she said about the perks and all the things that come with that, I'm like, I'm in. So yes.
So now you're retired from being a teacher.
Yes, I am retired.
And you're having more travel, and then now you are in your retirement, you making residual income.
Yes.
To help you travel some more.
Exactly, and that's exactly, and you just pretty much summed it all up right there. Yeah, it's very important that residual income is very important to me. I've seen that operate very well. I've had college students, and I've seen residual income pay off the college cost, and I'm seeing that even right now, even more, where it's one of those things when you see people who are still paying off debt, college loans, and they're in their 50s. You know, some older than that.
Right.
Well, I'm in a situation or just an organization that they are paying that off now, where they can. I mean, they're making that residual income, and I know that's so true because that happened to me. That happened for me.
And what's that agency called?
Yeah. That's Planet Marketing.
Okay.
Yeah, Planet Marketing.
Okay,
yes.
cool. And so while I have noticed that looking on their website and different things that they help with a lot of personal development, and they promote big time self-care.
Big time self-care, yes.
And so when they have these, traveling
it feeds your soul,
meetings. It does. It feeds your soul.
It
It kind of gives you a positive outlook on life. That no matter what you're going through, that there's something else that you can be doing besides sitting at home, or it's some way to make your dream into a reality.
That's true.
To get out and off of the
take those dreams
shores.
off the shelf. You just think about how many people have put those dreams on the shelf. They don't think that they'll realize that they're going to come, into fruition. And when you're around like-minded people, and you're seeing this happen, where wow, she just paid this off, or look at their lifestyles changing. Look at that. So it gives you hope. It gives you hope that if they can do it, you can do it too.
Well, I want to go travel because I've never been on a cruise. I've never been in, and I'm sure a lot of people probably haven't either. But when I think about self-care, traveling is one of those keys to self-care.
Yeah.
Travel is not only to dream, but Miss Jackie, when I hear you, retired and you're going to different places and countries and all this kind of stuff, I just can't wait until I grow up and be just like you.
Oh wow! Well, let's mention this too. The fact that we're heading towards momentum. Not only and we've got a SMART goal going on, because we say that February 18th, we will have 100,000 people who will have decided that residual income is very much a part of my family legacy now.
Right.
So, and that's what I love, because I have secured, my goal was to just to make a legacy, to be able to share that legacy with my family, to leave something. If something happens to me, they will get everything. They will get that. And the cool thing about it is that I've acquired that now. So my goal is to help other people do that.
Right.
To do that. So that's my passion right now.
And that is so good. And that's another way, again, how important it is to take care of yourself. To come from being just a dreamer to turning your dream into a reality.
Yes, isn't that good?
Is the process that we're trying to learn about.
Yes.
And how will neglecting self-care affect you?
I don't even want to think about that. I can't think about neglecting, because I'm one. I'm like that goat. Always setting goals, and so that would.
So
be
it's good.
There would be, because I had an injury this year, and that kind of took a toll a little bit. I had to fight really hard mentally. I had to have ankle surgery, and that was something that I'm like, oh wow, I almost saw myself doubting myself. Will I do this? Will I do it? Will I be able to jump again? Will I be able to bowl? Will I, so I'm like, okay, here I am into this whole little me pity party. So I had to continue to read and believe and just lean on my faith that, hey, you are thinking like this, but, God has something else for you. He has some definitely plans for you. So no, this will not be the end. I try to speak to people who have retired as well, where, some are afraid to do. They're afraid that, okay, I can't do this, or I'm limited to do whatever, A, B, and C. But I'm like, no, unlimit your life. You can, there is life beyond retirement.
Right.
And I want to be that legacy that, it makes an impact, and to live out that so make a living by living. I want to make a living by living.
Right.
I kind of get that from my mom and my dad. My dad's
Right.
89 years old.
They gotta be go-getters.
He's still golfing. He loves the golf course.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful. My mother is no longer here, but I think I continue to extend that legacy, that what she poured into me. Just from who knew that I would coach high school tennis. All we did in Chicago when I grew up, my sister and I just wanted to play tennis against my mom. She'd always keep the racket in the back, in the car, and we'd go out there, and that was, now here it is. Look, here we are.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, thank you, listening audience, for listening to another podcast of Mother's War on Violence. And before we close, and thank you, Ms. Buchanan, for joining us.
Thank you for
on
having
our
me.
show, Miss Jackie Greer-Buchanan.
Yeah.
Okay. And another thing, we would like to just focus on some things about other ways that we're not even paying attention to about neglecting ourselves, and some better ways to have self-care for ourselves. And I'm going to let Miss Jackie go into some of those things.
Well, I think, Yolanda, there are times when I had to tell myself, as far as it related to self-care, looking and looking back on what was going on in my life. And I came up with an acrostic that to remind me to travel light. And because sometimes we have no idea, and you know that, Yolanda,
Right.
we have no idea what we're carrying. It could be past hurts, or that we refuse to see those lessons that we need to seek some answers for. So my L in travel light was for me to let go. Letting go of necessary things and focusing on resetting my mind, getting my mind right, whether it be reading or being around encouraging people, like-minded people, just understanding that there's little control. We have little control on the setbacks of our lives. And even I call them the pandemics of life. I had to get out of my feelings and go deep into God's presence. That's for me, okay?
Me too.
To get my joy back. That's how I bounce back. That's how I have become resilient, through prayer, personal development. That's my jam. Personal development, reading, walking, exercising, affirmations, and that little stress protest that I called myself trying to get out of, right?
Okay.
That was promoting self-care. Come on. So that I in Travel Light is where I decided is a big part of who I am, and just giving me a way to coach, mentor, and inspire and educate other people. So to be intentional about showing up, showing up and being present in the community, or just networking events, conferences, fitness circles. Very, very important to do that. Even cruising. You talked about traveling and cruising. That's personal development right there. So taking inventory of what needs to be, what's a necessary ending in your life.
Right.
I had to struggle with that. What are some good goodbyes, right? So it's important to be intentional about investing in your own self-care. That mind, your body, spirit, and your soul.
So you mean that even toxic people, you need to have
Yes.
better self-care
Yes.
in acknowledging that is what that is, and
That's
we
so
need
good.
to
You need
stop
to
and
release
get away
that.
from that.
Release that. That's why in transparency, that's my T in Travel Light.
Okay.
Transparency is important, to be honest, be realistic about those issues and decisions of people in your life. So knowing when to rest. I needed to do that and learn how to rest. So learn how to say no, or just I'm okay. I'm okay in the moment. Be truthful in your actions and your words and your agreements. The E in Travel Light was empowerment. So empowerment to bet on me.
Right.
Betting on myself, to surround myself with the right coaches and the right mentors to empower me in my walk and my purpose of just fulfillment. So one other E, don't let that e-commerce get the best of your mind. So you got to know, sometimes there's joy in missing out. You know, people have fear of missing out. Oh, Jackie has joy in missing out. So those are just some things that to encourage people to write out your purpose. Have that vision board. Make sure. And I love vision boards. I love being able to accomplish what I
And what is that?
What I put out.
What's
just
a vision board?
Putting out my goals, placing them on a board of what I plan on doing for the year, and putting a date on it. You know, a deadline on it to accomplish it, and to revisit those things that I have set, visual pictures of where I want to go. Where do you want to travel? You ever, ask yourself, where do you want to travel? Put it on that board, find it, and make that a goal and do it. Sometimes we have these goals, and if you get to a point where you have so many goals and you're not fulfilling them, then you do yourself a disservice.
Right.
You're lying to yourself. So I had to tell myself, sometimes you have to do things and you have to be that are uncomfortable. You have to do it and you have to be scared when you do it, but you have to do it anyway. So the flight starts with Travel Light. It starts with the work. So how do I fulfill myself spiritually, physically, emotionally? How do you do that when your soul is broken? See, it's easy when you're feeling good, having a good time, but so you got to know, I hang on to a great source of joy, and I know that where my source comes from, I know that God has assured me that retirement is not my final destination, so His plans are limitless. I am a difference maker, and it's very important that I shed light and uplift and celebrate life with others. So that's really important to me. That's very, very important, that you got to be careful. What are you carrying? So I had to believe that I am fearfully and wonderfully made. So we all have a story, and we all deserve a fulfilled life. So give yourself permission to challenge your comfort zone and live outside the line. So find laughter and joy in every moment. I don't care if it's jumping. I don't care what it is. Just a time to reflect and just have some quiet time, no noise. So
quiet time is self-care.
Quiet time, rest is self-care. There was a rest ministry at the stress protest, and that was her job, to help us rest.
Wow.
Absolutely beautiful. That's it for self-care.
Well, thank you. You know what? That is a whole lot to ponder and to think about.
Thank you.
And thanks for coming on our show and sharing that with us today.
Thank you. You are welcome.
And I'm thinking about the biggest thing that some people struggle with is saying no. And when you said
yes,
enjoy.
yes.
I heard you. I thought, yeah, because
yes.
sometimes you can get busy with things in life and people asking you to do things, and that can really, because you like to help people, might be overwhelming for you. And
gotta
it's
have some boundaries.
Self-care to when you're taking care of yourself when you say no.
This show could just go on and on and on. This just takes life all by itself.
It does.
I love it. And
I'd like to end our show with a Bible verse. Casting all your cares upon Him, for He cares for you. And that is 1 Peter's, the 5th chapter, the 7th through the 9th verse. And self-care is also your spiritual care for yourself. Meditation is always good for the soul. Journaling, all these other things are. So, listening audience, if you can't get out and mingle or whatever because of fear of the COVID or whatever, there's some different things that cause us not to get out and socialize in today's world. Don't forget about the few things that we've highlighted today that you can do to do some positive self-care and surrounding yourself with positive people. I love to hang out sometimes with Miss Jackie because she has some positive outlooks, and she's been some places that I haven't, and and I'm still a work in progress, and so are you. Thank you.